Hello and welcome back to Only at the Rushes. I am January Rush, and this afternoon we will be making a creamy chicken ravioli. I really don't know if that's the name of it, but that's what I call it. It's so delicious. You can actually make it in a crock pot, but I'm in a hurry this afternoon and I forgot to put it in the crock pot, so we're making it on top of the stove. So just remember, in this recipe you can brown your hamburger and then put everything in the crock pot and it will be ready when you come home. Or if you're like me and you're in a hurry, you can just throw it together on top of the stove, and it's just as good both ways. But in this recipe you will need about 1.5 pounds of hamburger. Of course this is a bigger pack because I have Noah who will not eat it and I fry him a hamburger. You will need 2 32-ounce containers of chicken broth, 1 can of Italian style diced tomatoes, 1 block of 8-ounce cream cheese, and 2 10-ounce packs of chicken and roasted garlic flavored ravioli. Sometimes I use spinach and cheese. Sometimes I use spinach and chicken. You can use whatever flavor you like. I've just found that my kids will eat the chicken and roasted garlic a lot better. So it is a very easy recipe, and you will also need minced garlic, or you can use fresh garlic if you feel like chopping it up, but I find it easier to use the minced garlic and it tastes just as good. So this is what you will need for the recipe, and I will start preparing it and be back in just a moment. We just add a little bit of salt. We don't usually cook with a whole lot of salt, but some things I do. And a little pepper, or a lot. And we love a lot of garlic in our house, so you can use however much you want, but I usually put 2 or 3 tablespoons of garlic in, but you can use as much or little as you would like. You can season it to your family's liking. Just stir it all up and let it start to fry. Hamburger. Of course, I know this has hamburger meat on it, but my mother-in-law bought me this thing from Pepperidge Chef, and I love it. It is so good to chop up hamburger. You can even make scrambled eggs with it. It's very multi-functional use in your kitchen, but I like it mostly to chop up hamburger for stuff like this, for spaghetti, tacos, sandwiches, whatever you like that you have to kind of chop up your hamburger as you cook. And while that is cooking and this is heating up, well, I guess I could cook it if I would turn the stove on. You need to take your cream cheese and soften it in the microwave. I usually do about 30 seconds and then check it. Or you can lay it out on the counter for a little while to soften it, just according to what your time is. I love the smell of garlic. A lot of people are like, ooh, disgusting garlic, but I love the smell of garlic. It's so good. It's good for your stomach too. And while that hamburger is cooking, you can take your leftover hamburger and put it in a Ziploc bag. Most people just throws it in there. Well, I found to save room in your freezer, I know this looks crazy, but if you will take your hamburger meat that you have left over, no matter how much or how little, and just smash it around in your Ziploc bag and seal it and get all the air out of it. Well, if I can get it to seal correctly. There we go. It is very thin, and you can stack several of these on top of each other and use them for later for different foods like spaghetti and stuff, even if it's just a small amount. It saves a lot of space in your freezer instead of having those big clumps of separated hamburger meat. So that's just a little tip for today's cooking. And when your hamburger is brown all the way through and completely done, this little chopper chops it up super, super fine and super good. You drain the grease off of it and you get ready to add your ingredients. Oh, and there's my 2 hamburgers frying. One tip about a hamburger, a lot of people will tell you to smash your hamburgers while you're cooking them. Actually, don't do that. Cook them just a little bit slower on a little bit lower temperature, and don't squish the grease out of them, and they are so much better. They're a lot more tender and just more flavorful. I'm going to put the hamburger meat back on the stove. So I apologize if it is very loud frying. And then you pour your chicken broth, chicken stock, whatever you prefer. I just always pick up chicken broth. You can also use the chicken bouillon cubes or the chicken granules and dilute them and put them in there. Those are actually very good that way too. Sometimes I think the chicken bouillon cubes or the chicken bouillon granules, I think they sometimes have more flavor than chicken broth, but I just buy the chicken broth already made because it's easier, quicker. But when I'm not in a hurry, or according to what I have in the cabinet too, to what I'm cooking. You pour all that in there, and I know this right here is going to look like a hot mess. But this is my cream cheese. I ended up putting it in there for 30 seconds and another 20 seconds. And I took a knife and cut it up because the creamier and softer it is, the easier that it will melt in this water. And the best thing to do is to get your water to, not your water, your chicken broth boiling, not a real heavy boil, but warm and boiling before you put your cream cheese in, because it will melt better. Now that the chicken broth and hamburger is boiling, we're going to add our cream cheese. Sometimes I wonder if it wouldn't be easier just to get the cream cheese spread that's in the little container like you put on your bagels and stuff and use, because it probably would mix up better. I don't know. When I get used to making things with certain ingredients or products, I don't like to change them, because if it's good, why mess it up? Just try to get your cream cheese all mixed up, and it's hard sometimes because the cream cheese, it just wants to clump together with your hamburger meat, and I don't know, sometimes it's hard. That's why you shouldn't get it boiling so fast January, because it splashes out on you and burns you. And I'm not a left-handed person, so try to get the cream cheese mixed up as good as you can before you start adding your other ingredients, because once you add the other ingredients, it's like your cream cheese just won't melt down anymore. I don't know why. No matter how hot it is, or no matter what you do to it, it just, it's like it sets. And kind of looks like gravy. But you can see that there'll be a few clumps of cream cheese, but sometimes you can get it to all melt down and sometimes you can't. It's just, but it still tastes the same no matter what. Now that we have our cream cheese all melted down, we're going to add our tomatoes. Sometimes I do add a second can of tomatoes. It's just according how it looks whenever I'm mixing it up. And now I'm going to pour in the raviolis. Be careful that it don't splash all over you and burn you like it does me. And for a thicker consistency, if you want it, you can add a second cream cheese. Sometimes I do end up putting a half of a block of another cream cheese in there just to make it a little bit thicker. But a lot of times your ravioli noodles, the starch off of them, will thicken up your soup and your ravioli. What it looks like. and you get it to a boil and turn it down and let it simmer for anywhere from 10 to 30 minutes. It's just according how much time you have. Of course, the longer it simmers, the better it will taste. But you can eat it in about 10 to 15 minutes because the pasta only has to cook for about 4 minutes. And everything else is already done, so you can really cook it as long as you want to. Now that I have a good boil, I'm going to go ahead and turn it down and let it simmer on. Hello, microwave. I decided I think I want to put some more cream cheese in here, so I did heat up an additional block of cream cheese. I'll probably only use about half of it. I don't know, but I love cream cheese, so you only have to actually use one, but I like mine to be very creamy, so you can fix it however you want it. And something else that I do while I'm cooking is I always take a bag for my trash and I hook it to the cabinet, to the knob on the counters, and just put all my trash in there. And then when you're done with dinner, you just tie it all up and throw it out. A lot less cleanup. I did go ahead and add the second block of cream cheese, and you can see how much creamier and thicker it looks, but like I said, you get those little clumps of cream cheese. Well, if I would use a regular spoon like a normal person, you might be able to see something. Sorry about that. See how it has the cream cheese in it? But some of it will melt down for the most part, but it is still delicious no matter what. Somebody wants some dinner. This has been cooking now for about 30 minutes, and it smells so good through the house. You can smell the garlic mixed with the roasted Italian, not roasted Italian, diced tomatoes, and the noodles, you can tell, are very soft now and ready to eat. You can see some of the little pieces of cream cheese in there, and the reason that I show you that is if you do decide to make this, you will know that it is normal and it's not anything that you did wrong or messed up the recipe. It's just normal. Sometimes cream cheese has a hard time melting. So I am going to fix me and Josh a bowl of this and see if Nathaniel wants some. Noah has already eaten his hamburgers, so let's get ready for dinner. I brought out some fall colored bowls because this warm ravioli type soup just is perfect for fall weather. And Josh likes to put a little cheese in his sometimes, some shredded mozzarella or cheddar or the mix, Italian mix. He likes to put cheese in about everything, so cheese is really good in it. I hope that you have enjoyed this recipe, and I hope that you will make this. It is very good for those days that you would like to have some chili or soup or potato soup, but just want something a little different. Also, remember I told you could cook it in a crock pot. When you make it in the crock pot, what you do is you brown your hamburger with your garlic, and you put it in the crock pot with your chicken broth and your tomatoes, and you let it simmer with your noodles on low for about 4 hours, and then when you're ready to eat it, about 30 minutes before you eat it, you can add your room temperature cream cheese and let it get some extra flavor in it and cook it that way in a crock pot. I hope that you like and subscribe for more videos to come, and I hope you have a blessed, wonderful afternoon. I am going to go and enjoy me some ravioli.